So my project aimed to promote the consumption of water over sugared sweetened beverages amongst children, and I specifically aimed children between the age groups of 7 to 9. Along with this, I had a certain number of objectives that would ultimately help me to achieve my aim. So by achieving these objectives, I will be achieving the overall aim just in different ways. So the most obvious one of these objectives was that I wanted the children, as a result of this project, be able to identify soft drinks and fruit juices with a high sugar content. And this would then help them to enact more informed drink choices. Along with this, I wanted the children to be able to appraise the importance of water consumption, and I also wanted them to be able to describe the consequences of regular consumption of high sugar soft drinks and fruit juices, but with a particular emphasis on obesity. The last objective was the aim of the children being able to discuss the influences on their drink choices, and this was both situational and cultural. But in this specific case, it applies to the advertising and the power of the drinks industry in their advertising around children and sugary drinks targeted at children. So for my Health at Drink project, I decided to do a sugar workshop with the kids in second class in my local primary school. So before I could go into the school to actually do the workshop, I'd set up a meeting with the local principal to outline what it was I was going to do with the class, my aims, objectives, and what was expected of the class. So once I got the go-ahead here, I went into the school. The first thing I did was record what drinks the children had brought to school with them that day, and this was going to act as a baseline so that I could compare what drinks they'd brought through the rest of the week compared to the first day. So the next step was a pre-workshop questionnaire, and this was just to access what the children had known about sugar beforehand, what their health consequences were, the drinks industry, just very basic information about what they knew already. And the next step was the presentation, and this guided the whole workshop, and it helped me get across what I wanted to say in the way that I want to say to the children. This process was very interactive, and there was discussion and questions and involvement with the children throughout. So after this, I asked the children to draw a picture of what they learned from the workshop and the presentation. This was left up to themselves. It could be anything at all that they learned, and it was just to act as another form of feedback in telling me what they had learned or if they had learned anything at all. So while the children were colouring, I divided the children up into pairs depending on who they were sitting beside, and I gave each group a drink. So this varied from a bottle of Coke to a can of Fanta to a carton of Capri Sun, but the sugar content was different in each drink. So what I did was I took a bag of sugar and weighing scales, and I made my way around the classroom with each group, and we measured out the sugar content of each drink into clear Ziploc lunch bags. Once this was completed with all the groups, I labelled all of the drinks and the sugar contents inside the bag, and I put them on a display table in their classroom, and this was there for the following 2 weeks. So this was everything that was done on the day of the workshop. As for follow-up, I came into the school 2 weeks later, and I handed out post-workshop questionnaires to see what the children had learned or what they had remembered from the workshop. I had also typed up recording sheets for the teacher to record what drinks the children had been bringing into school for 2 weeks, up to 2 weeks after the workshop. And I divided this into two for the reason of trying to see whether the child had actually changed their drinking patterns for reasons of incentives or because of the workshop, what they'd learned. So the way I did this was I offered, for the first week, if every child brought in water, I'd offered a prize for every child that did this. And this was just something small, stationery, colouring pencils, erasers, just small things. And the children were made aware of this, so if they brought water every day, they'd get a prize. Whereas the following week, if they brought water every week, it was encouraged, but they didn't get a prize. So this was just ultimately to help me decide where the drinking patterns had changed for the right reasons from the information they learned from the workshop.